Welcome back to the Parsnips and Parsimony homestead. Today I'm starting my seeds, and yes, I am outside. I live in zone 5. However, we are having an extremely early spring this February, so I took advantage of this weather to get my seeds started. They will be in my home because it's supposed to get really cold next week. If it's still winter time where you are watching this, go ahead and start these inside. Usually I'm in my house, but today it's gorgeous, so I'm outside. I'm pleased to say this video is partnered with Veggie Garden, and I am so excited to share with you these new seed starting trays. I think they have revolutionized seed starting in a very small space. Seed stacking trays. I have so little space to host the 400 to 500 seedlings that I start before my greenhouse, which is unheated, is ready. So having stacking trays, I am very excited about it. These come with up to 4 tiers. I'm using 2 tiers today, but you can get up to 4 tiers high, which really, we're talking major space savings here. If you've watched my other videos, you know that these are the type of trays and seed starting cells that I use for all of my plants, and over the years they have just broken down. They are very lightweight, they're very flimsy. I don't know if you can see. They crush, they do not hold up like this. This set of trays is heavy. There is no bending it. It is solid, hard plastic, and they will hold up for years to come. They also have lots of holes. You're gonna have good ventilation and good drainage, so the plants and seeds have the best chance of survival. Veggie Garden has other smaller seed trays that you can get if you're just starting out. I went ahead and made my seed starting mix. I make my own, and you can check out the video on that if you'd like. But I just like to take my shovel and fill in all of the holes with the seed starting mix. And then I'm gonna go ahead and water it down. Once I have it all filled up, I like to water it really well before I even start my seeds. So I just have a hand sprayer here. This really makes short work of the job here. I'm just going to add my water. I always make sure that this is really moist, because once we get these seeds started, we're not going to water them again until they're germinated. I'll show you how I accomplish that without having to water them for another week. But I like to water them once, let them sit, water them a second time, and then if it starts dripping out the bottom, it's probably watered enough. If it's not dripping out the bottom, you're gonna wanna water it a third time. Really making sure it's very well soaked. And any seed starting mix that you can get at the store will work for this. I like to make my own. When I used to start my seeds, I used the Miracle Grow, and I was very happy with it. Every company has their own ratio of whether it be peat moss or the coconut husk, the perlite, and the vermiculite, and then their compost. They all have their own mix. I've always had the best success with the Miracle Grow until I started making my own. It's been less expensive, and it's worked just as well, if not better. So I'm gonna let this sit. I'm gonna start filling up my second tray, getting that one watered, and then come back to this one and check it to see if it needs to be watered anymore. On the sides there, you can actually see that the water hasn't penetrated all the way down, and so I want to keep watering it until the water is dripping out the bottom of those holes. Now that my seed trays are all watered, I made these tags just out of recycled plastic. I cut them into tag size, and I went ahead and labeled the peppers that I'm going to be planting in the seed tray. In this case, I have some bell peppers, some Anaheims, a jalapeno, a sweet bell pepper, and then a New Mexico hot pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and be planting lengthwise rows just because I need that many plants, but you guys could also go this direction as well, or if you wanted a whole flat of one specific variety, you could do that as well. Handy dandy little stick from the mulch in here. I've used pencils, I've used anything that can make a small hole about that size. And so now what I'm gonna do is make a small hole in the center of all of these cells, just about a ½ inch deep, like this. You don't want these to go down too deep. You just want it enough that we're gonna cover it with soil, but not so deep that it can't germinate well. And now we're just gonna put one seed per hole, except that one got 2, and I'm just gonna leave it. It'll be fine. Now that they're all planted, I need to cover them with just a little bit of soil. For this, I'm gonna take a little bit of my seed starting mix and just put it all over all of those holes that I just made and the seeds that I planted, and then I'll water it one more time, and then these will be all planted and ready to grow. The last thing I like to do after I've planted my seeds is I cover the trays with a piece of plastic wrap. That helps maintain the moisture, so I don't have to water this for the next week, 2 weeks, until it really starts to germinate, and then I can take it off. So that's my trick to making sure I have good germination rates and it's less work. In a couple weeks, these seeds should start germinating, and then I will remove that plastic wrap off and just start watering them every day or every other day, just making sure that they stay nice and moist. But that's how I start my seeds. I hope this video was helpful to you, and happy gardening.